board, everyone. Slide on.
There she is.
If you have any little ones on board, they are more than welcome to sit on the outside of the row or in the lap of an adult. Just make sure if they are on a lap, that they stay fully seated on that lap and that lap only. My friends on the right, both those hands, arms, feet, legs, those doors are going to be sliding shut.
I will tell her afterwards. She's working, but I will.
And if everyone's ready here in Harambe, we say twin day, and that means let's go. Jumbo friends, my name is Rachel, and I'm going to be your safari guide out on the Harambe Wildlife Preserve. Just a couple friendly safety reminders before we do head on out, though. Make sure we stay fully seated the entire time, as it does get pretty bumpy out there. We're also going to make sure we keep our hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck and hold on to any loose items that could fall out, because unfortunately I cannot stop to retrieve those items. If anything does fall out, though, please let me know. I will let the warden know. We'll see if we can get that item back to you by the end of the day. I can't promise it's going to come back to you in the same condition you lost it, though. These are very tall trucks, and the animals are very curious, so definitely hold on tight to anything you do want to keep looking nice. Looks like we're about to get that final all clear from the warden, so we're going to head on in, starting in the Little Aturi Forest. Now, the animals here in the forest are known for their camouflage, so we might have to look a little bit harder for them. Although looking by the trees is always a great place to start with these animals. They do like to hang out there fairly close. Now we're going to actually start over on the right side. That brown colored animal with that striped legs, so those are okapis. Now okapis might look like they are related to zebras with those striped legs, but they're actually one of the only living relatives of the giraffe. Now if you look at their head, they do kind of have the same skull shape the giraffe has, as well as the same tongue that helps them get into that vegetation. Now they are very shy animals, and because of that, they were not discovered until about 1901. Now, hopping over to the left side of the truck, these animals with horns on top of their head are bongos. Now, bongos are very shy and reclusive animals, just like that okapi. That is how they get their nickname, the ghost of the forest. Both males and females have those horns on the back of their head, and if you notice, they're kind of angled backwards. It's to help them get through that thick and tangled brush here in the forest. Now, there's a lighter tan-colored animal hanging out there, too, that has no horns, but it looks like there's a couple more of them up ahead here on top of the hill. Now, those are greater kudus. Now, it looks like all three that I saw were females. I wasn't seeing any horns on their head. The males do have horns and do also tend to be a little more solitary and like to hang out by themselves. But it looks like there is a black rhino coming up here fairly close. Now, black rhinos do have a more pointed prehensile upper lip that works kind of like your finger. That is what helps us identify them as black rhinos. They're also one of the smaller rhino species, coming in at about 3,000 pounds. So pretty big, but there are definitely bigger ones out there. Now, unfortunately, here fairly recently. Just like you and I might take a multivitamin every day, the elephants do eat that red clay. It gives them a little more nutrients they may not always get from their daily diet. Looks like there is a couple of them up ahead here. Now, female elephants do also have one of the longest gestation periods, coming in at about 22 months. So I'm not really sure I blame the females for kicking the males out after a while. Personally, I might do the same thing if I had to go through that. Those poor mothers. We're going to go around these trees. We'll see if we can get up a little bit closer to them. Those male elephants also won't get to their full size until they are about 35 to 40 years old, and that is a little over half of their lifespan. Out in the wild, their lifespan is about 60 to 70 years, and that full size can come in at a whopping 15,000 pounds. So it does make them one of the largest land animals out there. They do also have really sensitive skin, so you will see them throwing dirt and mud up on their back. That does act as a natural sunscreen for them. You will also see them flapping those really big ears that they have, as those ears are home to a bunch of blood vessels on the inside. So just doing that does activate those blood vessels and can even cool their body temperatures down about 15 degrees. Everything's very interesting around here always. Looks like we're coming up on a flamboyance of greater flamingos. They do start off as a gray color, and as they get older, they get their vibrant pink color from their diet, which does consist mostly of beta-carotene. If you actually look down, there's a couple of them that do still have that gray feathering, so those ones are still fairly young. Now, they're one of the lighter colors of flamingo species, as well as one of the largest. You might have seen their cousins, the lesser flamingos, out on Discovery Island when you were coming in today. They're quite a bit brighter in color than these ones. They're also a little bit smaller. Now, if you also look at that island, it kind of reminds me of one of my favorite Disney characters. Hey, quick, there you go. Guess we'll never know. Alright, we're coming up on a fairly fresh mud pit up ahead here, so be on the lookout for any other larger animals that might be hanging out around here. A lot of times we'll see white rhinos not too far. Just like the elephants, they do also have really sensitive skin, so you will see them rolling around in those mud pits every once in a while. Now, I did say the savanna is one of the largest parts on the reserve, though, so just because I've not seen any yet doesn't mean we won't see any. They do have quite a few different hiding spots, so we will be on the lookout for them. But we are also coming up towards big cat territory. And I think I see something moving up by the rocks ahead here. Yeah, right there's a cheetah. Looks like there's a couple more up ahead too. But cheetahs are one of the fastest land animals. They can go for about 0 to 60 miles per hour in just about 3 seconds. They do get to that speed fairly quickly. They can't maintain it for very long though. It's more like a short sprint of a couple hundred yards. Now, they will use that long tail of theirs, kind of works as a rudder to help them turn. Their nails also don't retract, so they do stay out. It does help them gain traction when they are running those speeds. Looks like there's a couple more walking pretty close there. Now, unlike most big cats, they will do most of their hunting during the day and do tend to be way more active during the day. They're also one of the only big cats that can purr. So kind of like your household cats. Just a little bit bigger. Alright, we're coming around the Kofi Rocks. A lot of different animals do like to hang out here. Actually, like this male lion.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, and he's making noise.
Ooh, male lion, male lion. Nice.
Good morning to you too, buddy. Now, lions do sleep about 16 to 20 hours a day, so it's actually really cool that we're seeing him up and moving around. I'll be on the lookout for a couple of females. There's usually a couple of them that like to hang out not too far from him. They do tend to be more nocturnal and will do most of their hunting at night. And it is the females that will go out and do the hunting while the males stay back and protect the pride. During the day, their eyesight is pretty much identical to ours. At night, it does get about 6 times better though, so they do have a super good eyesight at night. Ah, there's the 2 females. Ooh, I actually found those white rhinos as well over on the right. There's actually a baby one you can kind of see laying down in between the two of them. That is Ranger, the absolute love of my life. He's a little over a year old now. He turned a year old in October, and he's already over 1,000 pounds. So he's a big baby. We'll probably, hopefully see them again here in a moment, so we'll keep my head around by these two female lions. Now when they really start going with those vocalizations can be heard up to 5 miles away. Now you guys already heard it, but I always tell people while you're walking around the park, just keep your ears open, especially if you plan on staying here all the way up until like the evening, because you might hear it while you're walking around. It is pretty cool. Alright, let's see if we can head by those white rhinos again here maybe. There is a warthog walking around there right behind that tree. A couple more. Now warthogs are one of the largest land burrowing animals. They do like to back up into their burrows, keeps their tusks out. That way if anything tries to sneak up on them, they can try to deter that animal. They've also been known to recycle other animals' burrows, so they might find what an animal has abandoned and call it their home. There is a couple ostriches laying down up ahead there too. Now, ostriches are the largest species of bird. They are flightless birds though. They do use those wings to help them turn because they can run speeds of about 30 to 40 miles per hour. There, you can kind of see those white rhinos again back there. Now, white rhinos don't actually get their name from their skin color. They get it from the Afrikaans word wijd, which means wide. Now, if you did see their mouth, you'll notice their mouth is much wider than black rhinos. They're also quite a bit bigger, coming in at about 5,000 pounds, about 2,000 pounds bigger. Now, one of my favorite things about them, even though they are 5,000 pounds, when they run, they can actually get all 4 of their little legs off the ground. So kind of like how a horse gallops. So they are very, very graceful for how large they are. Now, a really cool conservation fact about those white rhinos over in Uganda. White rhinos were extinct in the wild, so that means there were no more remaining. Now, obviously, that is not the cool part. The cool part is thanks to our breeding program here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, they were able to send 2 white rhinos over there, and they did start repopulating. So we have seen those numbers going up, which is super exciting, especially since we had a part in that. Now, we always want to see those numbers going up in the wild, where they belong. But we're coming up on the warden post just up ahead here, so that does unfortunately mean our safari is coming close to an end. But the warden has adopted these Nigerian dwarf goats that hang out here. And they do help our warden keep the grass looking nice and the weeds down low. And in return, they produce some milk that the villagers here find very sweet and high in value. So that does allow the village to rely less on the wildlife out there. They are small. They won't get any bigger than that, though. They are full-grown adults. And they are one of the many examples of how humans and animals can live in harmony together. It just takes a little bit of effort from us. Some small things that we can do at home but make a huge difference for these animals. Planting some native trees or plants in your yard. Maybe building a few bird houses here and there, or even some bat boxes. A lot of these animals, including those elephants that we saw, are losing their habitats due to mining for metallic ore, otherwise known as coltan. And that's found in many of your small electronics. So things like cell phones, laptops, tablets, anything like that. So next time that brand new shiny iPhone comes out and you guys decide to go out and purchase it, just make sure you recycle the old one. If you did enjoy seeing the animals here on the safari today, there's still plenty more for you to see today. Here in Africa, you can hop on over to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail where you'll see naked mole rats, meerkats, gorillas. They have an underwater hippo viewing pool where you can usually get a little bit better view of some hippos. Now also over in Asia, right behind Kali River Rapids, you're going to find the Maharaja Jungle Trek. Now over there they have Sumatran tigers, Komodo dragons, bats, and a whole bunch of different exotic bird species. And both of those trails are about a 15 to 20 minute walking trail though, so you do want to give yourself just a little bit of extra time if you do plan on doing them. Now, no 2 safaris are ever the same as well, and the animals will always make sure of that. So if you guys are here on another day, or even later on in the day, definitely come back and check us out. You guys might see some different animals out there. Or sometimes you'll see hyenas, as they do tend to be a little more nocturnal. You might see those hippos out grazing around in the grass. You will probably have a different safari guide as well, so you might learn some different facts you didn't hear from me this time around. Each safari guide has their own things that they like to talk about, so you never know what you'll learn. But here in Harambe, we do not like to say goodbye. We feel that's far too sad and far too final. Instead, we leave you with Kwaherini, which means to go well. So Kwaherini, friends, go well, go wild, go make a difference out there, and enjoy the rest of your day here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Once again, my name was Rachel. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Stay warm out there. My friends on the right, watch those hands, arms, feet, legs. Those doors are sliding open. And watch your step down. There's a little bit of a step there. If I had any wilderness explorers on board, you guys were on board the Simba one. Kwaherini, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll talk to you later.